G'day, mates. What if a single decision from halfway across the globe could shake your wallet, your superannuation, and your dream of owning a home in Sydney's million-dollar market? Picture this. You're sipping a flat white at a Bondi cafe, scrolling through your Combank app, and your investments suddenly take a hit. Not because of anything you did, but because Donald Trump's tariffs have sparked a global trade war. It's a gut punch. 70% of Australians fear their savings won't outlast them, and these tariffs could turn that fear into reality. Think of your financial journey like surfing a rip current at Manly. Misjudge the wave, and you're in deep water. But here's my promise. Over the next 60 minutes, I'll give you a roadmap to protect your wealth, seize opportunities, and thrive in this chaos. Stick around, because I'm about to reveal the one mistake most Australians are making right now that could cost them millions. Let's paint a vivid picture, mates. You're an Australian, maybe firing up the Barbie for a Sunday arvo in Brisbane, cheering at the footy in Melbourne's MCG, or sipping a flat white in a bustling Perth cafe, dreaming of a coastal retirement with a view of the Indian Ocean. But life's bloody expensive, isn't it? The median house price in Sydney is $1.2 million, and even in Adelaide, you're scraping to find a decent place under $600,000. Rent's gobbling up half your paycheck, and with the Reserve Bank of Australia pegging the cash rate at 4.35%, your mortgage feels like a roux giving you a proper wallop. Groceries at Coles or Woolies are climbing, with inflation running at 3.5%, and filling up the ute at BP isn't getting any cheaper. Now, throw in a curveball from halfway across the globe. Donald Trump's tariffs, massive taxes slapped on goods entering the United States, targeting everything from Chinese steel to European cars. You might be thinking, what's that got to do with me in Bondi or Bunbury? Well, mate, Australia's economy is like a boomerang. What we send out to the world, iron ore, coal, beef, even our world-class wine, comes back as jobs, superannuation, growth, and the cash that keeps our barbecues sizzling. Let's meet Sarah, a 33-year-old marketing coordinator from Melbourne's inner north. She's got a $450,000 mortgage on a two-bedroom flat, $15,000 in HEX debt from her uni days, and a maxed-out credit card that's creeping toward $8,000. She's been stashing $100 a month into a RAIS account, investing in ASX ETFs like VAS, hoping to build a deposit for a bigger place or maybe a holiday to the Whitsundays. But when news of Trump's tariffs hit, her portfolio took a 5% dive in a single week. The ASX 200, which tracks our biggest companies, shuddered as global trade fears rippled through. Sarah felt gutted, like she'd been slogging away for nothing. Ever felt that sting? Like no matter how hard you work, the system's stacked against you? It's not your fault the global economy feels like a game of two-up where the house always wins. Sarah was ready to chuck it all in, wondering if she'd ever get ahead. But here's the good news. Sarah turned it around, and you can too. Let's dig into why these tariffs matter. Australia's economy leans heavily on exports. 60% of our GDP comes from trade. We ship iron ore and coal to China, which uses them to make steel. But Trump's tariffs on Chinese goods could slow their economy, slashing demand for our resources. That hits ASX-listed giants like BHP and Rio Tinto, which make up a huge chunk of the ASX 200. The index has averaged a 7% annual return over the last decade, but analysts warn tariffs could knock off 1 to 2% if trade grinds down. That's not just numbers on a screen. It's your superannuation, which 70% of Australians rely on for retirement. The average 40-year-old has $150,000 in super, but you'll need closer to $1.5 million for a comfy retirement with annual holidays and a new car every decade. If the ASX stumbles, your nest egg could take years to recover. And it's not just investments. Tariffs could drive up costs here at home. If the US taxes Chinese electronics, we'll pay more for phones and TVs at JB Hi-Fi. Imported clothes from Zara or H&M. They'll sting your wallet harder. Inflation's already at 3.5%, eating your savings like a seagull nicking chips at St. Kilda Beach. Wages aren't keeping up. Average weekly earnings grew just 8% last year. And with the RBA hinting at potential rate hikes if inflation spikes, your mortgage repayments could climb, leaving less for that weekend surf trip to Margaret River or a night out at the pub. But it's not all doom and gloom. Let's look at Nguyen, a 48-year-old small business owner in Sydney's Parramatta. He runs a cafe and started investing in ASX dividend stocks like Telstra to fund his kids' uni fees. When tariffs sparked market jitters, he panicked. His $20,000 portfolio dropped 10%. But instead of selling, he learned how tariffs create opportunities. Some Australian sectors like agriculture or renewable energy could benefit if global supply chains shift. Nguyen doubled down on stocks like GrainCorp, which exports wheat, and his portfolio's now back up 15%. He's proof you don't have to be a victim of global chaos. These tariffs are a wake-up call, mates. Like waiting for rain in the outback, building wealth takes patience, but you've got to understand the storm first. Trump's policies could reshape markets, but they also open doors. New investment plays, smarter budgeting, and ways to make your money work harder. So how do you shield your finances and come out ahead? Hang tight, because next, I'm unpacking 4 Ripper strategies Sarah and Nguyen used to turn fear into opportunity, and they'll change the game for you too. Alright mates, let's roll up our sleeves and dive into the meat of this. 4 practical, no-nonsense strategies to protect your wealth and come out swinging despite Donald Trump's tariffs shaking the global economy. These aren't pie-in-the-sky ideas. They're actionable steps for anyone. Whether you're a 25-year-old barista pulling shots in Hobart, a 40-year-old professional juggling a mortgage in Sydney, or a 60-year-old business owner in Cairns planning retirement. Think of this as your financial surfboard to ride the tariff wave, not get dunked by it. Ready? Let's hit the ground running like we're chasing a boundary at the SCG. First, tackle your debt like you're wrestling a saltwater croc in the top end. Australians are lugging around over $2 trillion in household debt, mostly mortgages, credit cards, and HECS. High-interest debt, like that 19% credit card, is a wealth vampire, sucking away your future faster than you can say smash Davo. The debt snowball method is your weapon. List every debt from smallest to largest. Pay minimums on all but the smallest, and throw every spare cent at that one until it's gone. Then roll that payment into the next debt. Sarah, our 33-year-old marketing coordinator from Melbourne, had $20,000 in debt, $15,000 on HECS and $5,000 on a credit card. She targeted the card first, cutting out daily flat whites at her local cafe and redirecting $150 a month to repayments. In 8 months, the card was history, and she felt like she'd just kicked the winning goal in the AFL Grand Final. That momentum pushed her to chip away at her HECS. Pause now. Grab a pen and write down your smallest debt. Maybe it's a $2,000 afterpay balance. What's one expense, like that extra Uber Eats order, you could cut to attack it? Comment below. What's your smallest debt, and what's your plan to smash it? Second, invest in the ASX to build a fortress around your finances. Trump's tariffs might spook global markets, but Australian companies like BHP, Commonwealth Bank, and Woolworths are tougher than a pair of RM Williams boots. Exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are your ticket to owning a slice of the ASX 200 without betting the farm on one stock. The Vanguard Australian Shares Index ETF, ticker VAS, tracks the top 200 companies and has averaged 7% returns over decades, even through trade wars and pandemics. Sophie, a 42-year-old primary school teacher from Sydney's West, started investing $200 a month in VAS through the Rise app 5 years ago. Today, her portfolio's sitting at $18,000, enough for a deposit on an investment property or a cracking holiday to Uluru. Platforms like CommSec or Perler make it dead easy. Set up an account in 10 minutes. Link your bank and start investing with as little as $50. But here's the kicker. Tariffs could create bargains. If ASX stocks dip, companies like CSL or Telstra become cheaper to buy, setting you up for gains when markets rebound. Your challenge: calculate how much you can invest monthly, even if it's just $20. Log into your banking app now and check your budget. Share in the comments. What's your first investment move? Stick around, because I'm about to drop an ASX hack that 90% of investors miss. Third, supercharge your superannuation to bulletproof your retirement. The average Australian super balance at age 50 is $200,000. But tariffs could slow ASX growth, nibbling away at your nest egg. Most Aussies need $1.5 million for a comfortable retirement. Think annual holidays to the Gold Coast and a new car every 10 years. Boost your super by adding 1% of your salary, about $20 a week if you earn $60,000 a year. Lisa, a 55-year-old nurse from Melbourne, did this and added low-risk bonds to her super fund's investment mix. By retirement, her balance hit $1 million, enough to buy a beachside unit in Geelong and live comfortably. Most super funds, like Australian Super or Host Plus, let you increase contributions online in 5 minutes or through your employer's payroll. But here's a pro tip. Check your fund's fees. Some charge 2% annually, which can eat $30,000 over 20 years. Switch to a low-fee fund like Vanguard Super if yours is too pricey. Your action: log into your super account this week and review your contribution settings. Call your fund if you're unsure. Most have helplines. Coming up, I'll share a super tweak that could save you thousands. Don't miss it. Fourth, launch a side hustle to keep cash flowing like the Yarra River. Tariffs could jack up import costs, making your shop at Woolworths or Kmart pricier. Think 10% more for clothes, electronics, or even your kids' Lego. A side hustle can offset that hit and give you extra to invest or pay down debt. Tom, a 38-year-old dad from Brisbane, started a weekend gardening business mowing lawns and trimming hedges. He pulls in $500 a month, which he uses to buy ASX dividend stocks like Westpac, yielding 4% annually. Other ideas? Freelance on Airtasker, think graphic design or furniture assembly. Sell handmade candles on Etsy, or tutor high school kids in maths. Nguyen, our cafe owner from Parramatta, started roasting his own coffee beans and selling them online, netting $300 a month. Brainstorm one skill you've got. Maybe photography, dog walking, or fixing bikes. Write it down now and check platforms like Gumtree or Upwork for opportunities. Comment below. What's your side hustle idea? And how much could you earn? These strategies are like planting a eucalyptus in your backyard. Small seeds today, towering shade tomorrow. They're not just about dodging tariffs. They're about building a financial future as unshakable as Uluru. Take a moment. Which of these steps feels most doable for you? Debt repayment? Investing? A side gig? You don't need a high-flying salary, just consistency. Hang tight, because next we're crafting a long-term wealth plan to make your money work harder than a shearer in the outback. All right, mates, let's step back and build a wealth plan that's sturdier than a gum tree in a storm. Surviving the short-term shocks of Donald Trump's tariffs is one thing, but creating a legacy of prosperity, that's the true blue Australian dream. Whether you're a young gun in Brisbane saving for your first home, a mid-career professional in Perth balancing family and finances, or a pre-retiree in Adelaide eyeing a comfy sunset, this blueprint will set you up for decades. Think of your financial future like navigating the Great Barrier Reef. Plot your course wisely, dodge the jagged corals of economic chaos, and you'll sail into waters brimming with opportunity. Here's how to craft a long-term wealth strategy that'll keep your finances thriving, tariffs or no tariffs. First, diversify your investments like you're spreading Vegemite on toast, smooth, even, and covering all corners. Trump's tariffs could wallop our mining giants like BHP or Fortescue, which lean on exports to China. If China's economy slows, our iron ore prices drop, and the ASX 200, where mining is a heavy hitter, could wobble. To stay steady, spread your money across sectors. Healthcare champs like CSL, tech innovators like WiseTech Global, and property trusts like Mirvac. Aisha, a 45-year-old freelance graphic designer from Sydney's Inner West, learned this the hard way. Her $20,000 portfolio was all in on mining stocks, and it tanked 10% when tariff news broke. She rebalanced, putting 20% into global ETFs like Vanguard's Total Stock Market ETF, ticker VTS, and 15% into Australian bonds. Last year, her portfolio grew 12%, outpacing the ASX's 7% average. Aim for a balanced mix, 60% stocks, 30% bonds, and 10% in cash or alternatives like gold, or even a small punt on Bitcoin ETFs for the adventurous. Your action: log into your ComSec or Perler account this week and check your asset split. If it's too heavy in one sector, shift 5% to something new, maybe a healthcare ETF like IXJ. Comment below. What's one new investment you'll explore to diversify? Coming up, I'll share a diversification trick that could boost your returns. Stay tuned. Second, supercharge your superannuation to lock in a ripper retirement. Most Australians need $1.5 million for a comfortable retirement. Think annual trips to the Margaret River wine region, a new SUV every decade, and enough left for healthcare. But the average 50-year-old has just $200,000 in super, and tariffs could slow ASX growth, shrinking that nest egg. One fix? Salary sacrificing, redirecting pre-tax income to your super to cut your tax bill and bulk up your savings. Liam, our 35-year-old electrician from the Gold Coast, started sacrificing $3,000 a year into his Host Plus super fund. By age 65, that's projected to add $250,000 to his balance, pushing him toward $800,000 total. Another move: tweak your super's investment mix. If you're under 40, go aggressive, with 80% in growth assets like shares. If you're over 50, shift to 60% shares and 40% bonds for stability. Lisa, our Melbourne nurse, did this at 55 and hit $1 million by retirement. Check your super fund's website. Australian Super, Rest, or Sun Super make it easy to adjust contributions or investments online. Your challenge: call your super fund tomorrow and ask about salary sacrificing and investment options. Share in the comments. What's one super tweak you'll make? Third, build passive income streams to keep cash flowing like the Murray River and flood. Dividend stocks are a beaut starting point. ASX blue chips like Qantas, Westpac, or Coles pay 4 to 5% annually, giving you income without selling shares. A $10,000 investment in Westpac could net you $400 a year, enough for a weekend getaway to the Blue Mountains. Rental properties are another winner if you've got the deposit. Perth's median house price is $650,000, with rental yields around 5%. Chloe, a 30-year-old barista from Melbourne, saved $15,000 for a deposit on a $300,000 unit in Geelong. She now earns $300 a week in rent, covering her own share house rent and leaving extra to invest. If property's out of reach, try smaller plays. Create an online course on Udemy teaching a skill like photography, or invest in peer-to-peer lending via platforms like RateSetter for 4 to 6% returns. Nguyen, our Parramatta Cafe owner, started selling coffee roasting kits online, pulling in $500 a month. Your action: research one passive income idea this week. Check Airbnb for spare room rentals or Gumtree for reselling opportunities. Write down your first step and share in the comments. What passive income stream are you keen to try? Finally, adopt a millionaire mindset, because wealth isn't just dollars, it's discipline. The richest Aussies in Point Piper or Peppermint Grove share habits. They live below their means, invest regularly, and delay gratification. Skip the new $70,000 ute. Invest that cash in an ETF like VDHG instead. Tom, our Brisbane dad, ditched daily takeaway lunches, saving $200 a month. He invested that in ASX dividend stocks, building a $6,000 portfolio in 18 months. It's like throwing a boomerang. Aim it right, and it comes back stronger. Another habit: review your finances monthly. Aisha sets aside 1 hour each month to check her budget, investments, and super catching issues early. Your challenge: pick one luxury, like weekly pub dinners, and cut it for a month. Redirect that cash to debt or investments. Comment below. What's one millionaire habit you'll start today? This blueprint is your ticket to a financial future as solid as the Sydney Harbor Bridge. It's about planting seeds now, diversification, super, passive income, and mindset, so you can lounge under the shade later. Hang tight, because next, we're wrapping up with a call to action to kickstart your journey like a rocket at the Boxing Day test. All right, mates, let's bring this home like a clutch boundary in the final overs at the GABA. You've seen how Donald Trump's tariffs could send ripples through your finances, hitting your superannuation, inflating your grocery bill at Woolies, and shaking your dreams of a home in Sydney's million-dollar market. But you're not just a bystander. You've got a toolkit to fight back. Crushing debt with the snowball method, investing in ASX ETFs like VAS, supercharging your super, launching side hustles, and building a long-term wealth plan that's tougher than a drought in the outback. This isn't just about stacking cash, it's about crafting freedom. Freedom to retire on the Gold Coast with a cold stubby in hand, to take your family to the Melbourne Cup in style, or to live life on your terms, whether that's surfing at Bells Beach or cheering at the AFL Grand Final. Your financial journey is like sailing the Great Barrier Reef. Navigate with wisdom. Steer clear of the storms, and you'll discover treasures that last a lifetime. Let's make this real with a 7-day challenge that'll kickstart your path to financial independence. Starting today, track every single dollar you spend. Grab a free app like Pocketbook or jot it down in a notebook like you're tallying runs in a cricket match. Then pick one expense to cut, even if it's small. Maybe that daily flat white from your local cafe, those extra beers at the pub, or that sneaky Uber Eats order. Redirect that cash to your smallest debt, like Sarah did with her credit card, or to an investment, like Sophie's Rai's account. If you save $10 a week, that's $520 a year, enough to start a micro-investing portfolio or chip away at a HEX balance. Emma, Liam, Aisha, and Tom all started with tiny steps, and now they're striding toward financial freedom. You're no different, mate. You've got the grit to make it happen. Here's where you take the driver's seat. Comment below. What's your first step toward financial freedom? Maybe it's opening a Perler account to invest $50 in an ETF, calling your super fund to set up salary sacrificing, or listing your old surfboard on Gumtree to kick off a side hustle. Whatever it is, shout it out. Your goal could light a spark for someone else watching. Hit that like button if you're fired up to take control of your future, and subscribe for more tips to keep your wealth growing faster than a eucalyptus in spring. Share this video with a mate who needs a financial wake-up call. Maybe your colleague stressing about their mortgage, or your cousin buried in credit card debt. Together, let's build a movement of Australians taking charge, as bold and unstoppable as a wave crashing at Bondi. But let's go deeper for a moment. Building wealth isn't just about numbers. It's about the life you're creating. It's the peace of knowing your kids can go to uni without drowning in debt, the joy of booking that dream trip to the Red Centre, or the pride of leaving a legacy for your community, like supporting a local footy club or a charity close to your heart. Every dollar you save, invest, or earn is a step toward that vision. So, ask yourself, what does financial freedom mean to you? Is it a beach shack in Noosa, early retirement at 55, or just the security of a rainy day fund? Write that vision down tonight and stick it somewhere you'll see it. Your fridge, your desk, your phone's lock screen. Let it fuel you. One final push. Make your next move within 24 hours. Don't let this be another YouTube video you watch and forget. Download that budgeting app, call your super fund, or browse Airtasker for side hustle ideas. Sarah turned her fear into action and paid off her credit card. Nguyen pivoted his cafe to online sales and built a new income stream. You're just as capable. Your wealth isn't a far-off dream. It's a boomerang you're throwing today, and with the right aim, it'll come back stronger than ever. Let's make it as Australian as a Vegemite toasty, a sunset at Uluru, or a cheer for the Wallabies. See you in the comments, mates. Let's keep building a future that's fair dinkum and financially free.